I'm Leanne Whitehouse, joined by Brett Kissel today. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
The pleasure's all mine, and I want to start off by saying welcome to the family of country music.
Why, thank you. I'm getting thrown right in, chatting with you. I feel like you're kind of Canadian royalty when it comes to country music.
That's very, very kind of you to say, but I'm going to say this right now. No. I've got a long ways to go. If you want to talk about royalty to me, you got to talk with Paul Brandt.
Okay.
You got to talk with Shania. Mm-hmm. You got to talk to Carolyn Dawn Johnson.
Okay.
So those are the ones that have really, really paved the way. I'm just some young guy trying to make it in business.
Well, your 2020 year has already been off to a huge start. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Drink About Me went #1. How did it feel to get that news?
You know what? I was overcome with emotion because it is such a special moment to celebrate as an artist, but I got the chance to celebrate with my family. So we were all in Toronto and getting a chance to kind of reflect on the year that we had, recording this album, have a little cheers at the restaurant with my 3 little kids and my wife. It was very, very special. My wife ended up catching it on, she posted it to my Instagram, but I had to shed a few tears because it was so special.
It's a big moment. And when you were putting that song together, was there ever a time in the studio or when you were starting the song that you thought, we've cracked the code on this one. There's something special here?
That's a great question. You know what? I think that we genuinely felt something was special and something was different. It was a good different. I'm very proud of all the music that I've made, all the songs I've recorded over the years, but this one had a special feeling to it. And the way that I would describe it is it's a memory song disguised as a drinking song. So it's what's great about country music, but it's such a unique take on kind of a classic tale that's been sung about before, but not really in this way. So I was really happy I was able to tell this story.
And it's off of your new album, Now or Never, which was released earlier this year, January 1st. Fantastic album, start to finish, so many beautiful songs. And speaking of your family and celebrating with your family, your beautiful wife, Cecilia, did she have a hand in the album title?
Yeah, absolutely. She called it Now or Never. We were traveling down to Florida on a little family vacay, and it was right before the Canadian Country Music Awards. We try to do that before the CCMAs every year so that we can just kind of get our energy centered and we can spend some time before we go into the craziest week and weekend of the year.
For sure.
While we were traveling down, we were listening to one of the final mixes of one of my songs called Young Enough. And there's this one line that goes, all I know is that it's now or never. And she says, that's the title of your record. And I agreed with her. I asked her why she thought it was. And it was just this headspace. And we had this great conversation surrounding that title. And I'm really proud that it came together that way.
Do you and your wife do that often, bounce ideas off of each other?
Oh,
yeah.
All the time. She is the single greatest ally that I've got, not just in my music business life, but in life in general, that I don't know what I would do without her because she's such an incredible support system.
And speaking of, your family and your support system, right after this album was released, I believe I saw something on Instagram, and I don't want to misquote you, but you said something along the lines of, this is the happiest you've ever been in your career and in your life. Why? Can you speak to that? Why this album? Why now?
You know what? Sure. It's I'll get a little deeper here because 2019 was a year that I struggled. I struggled, personally. I had some struggles professionally. I feel that I made a lot of mistakes and I didn't do the right thing by my time. And, with my relationships, I put off so many things. I didn't get back to people. I was just so busy, but I think busy with the wrong things. I didn't have a clear mind or didn't have a clear intention with my time. And that was something I didn't want to carry forward, not just in the new year, but in this new decade. And I used this album and I used this music as an opportunity to learn and an opportunity to heal. So I don't want to get too deep and artsy with it because I'm not really that guy, but I became that guy. And I'm so proud of all of these songs because they tell such an incredible story about where I'm at in my head and where I'm at in my heart and obviously where I'm at in my soul.
Is there a song on the album that is maybe more personal or tugs on your heartstrings a little bit more than the others? I know they're all
Yeah, they're all personal, but I will tell you, it's track number 3, and it's called "That's Country Music," and it was an opportunity for me to write a song and thank the genre, and thank anybody who's ever had a hand in building up the greatest genre in the world, as far as I'm concerned. And so this isn't just the great artists like Johnny Cash and Garth Brooks and George Strait, but this is taking it to the next level. It's all the producers, it's all the people who are part of the industry, everybody at radio, because when I fell on hard times and losing family members or having relationships kind of fall by the wayside as I was coming up through the ranks of the last 10 years, I would always lean on country music. And so this was my opportunity to thank country music in general, and it's an emotional song for me, and it's my favorite.
It is a beautiful song.
Thank you.
And you mentioned some, thinking country music. And I know a couple weeks ago you got to perform at kind of the biggest country
yeah.
place ever, the Grand Ole Opry, which was actually a return for you. That wasn't your first time performing there. But take me through that. Like, you're about to walk on stage. What is going through your mind?
Okay, well, it always feels like the first time because it is such a sacred stage and such an outstanding moment to be there where all of your heroes stood. And it's just this whole feeling. Every artist that has ever done an interview to talk about the Opry or in private conversations has talked to me about the significance of the Grand Ole Opry, that stuff isn't lost on me. So I'm standing and I'm waiting in the wings as I'm getting introduced, and I'm about to step out onto the Ryman Auditorium, the original home of the Grand Ole Opry. They call it the Mother Church of country music. And I look down on my cowboy boots, and I think to myself, oh my God, Johnny Cash stood right here. Patsy Cline stood right here. Garth, George Jones, George Strait, Elvis Presley stood right where this guy from Flat Lake, Alberta is standing. It's surreal.
How do you shake off the nerves? Do you have breathing techniques?
No, I mean, I think I still feel them.
Yeah.
Like, I still feel that same way right now, even talking about it, because it's a feeling unlike any other that I've had, and it's a venue unlike any other venue on planet Earth.
I feel butterflies hearing you talking about it.
So if you don't mind me saying, have you ever been to the Opry?
No, it's on the bucket
And how about
list.
Nashville?
I have
you been?
not.
Okay.
I know.
I'm going to make you a promise right here, right now. When you do come to Nashville, because I know it's in your cards. So like I said, you're part of the country music family now. So I would love to show you around Nashville, and I would love to, if there's an opportunity for me to return to the Opry, which I hope to play a few more times this year, I would love to make sure that you're there so that you can experience it. I know you will have a great time.
That is absolutely. It's on camera, so
yeah, I know it's about as legit as it gets.
Now, if you indulge me for a second, if you were to step on the stage at the Grand Ole Opry, and I know they have the sacred circle there, you're a whiskey guy.
Oh yeah.
If you were to crack a bottle of whiskey with anyone, past, present, anyone, right there, who would be sharing your bottle of whiskey?
I've never had this question asked to me before, but I'm so excited
Wonderful.
to answer it. It would be the Man in Black, Johnny Cash. Like, I think the best part about whiskey, and I'll just say this in general, is that it's all about tradition. It's all about memories. And if you can sit across from somebody that you admire and you could share all of these stories over a drink, that would just be one of the most ultimate encounters. And so the Man in Black, Johnny Cash, I'd love to talk with him about, his career, his life growing up in Arkansas. I'd love to talk to him about, his path through spirituality. I'd love to talk to him about the lessons that he's learned in country music. So if I could do that over a glass of whiskey. I'd like to do it over a bottle of whiskey so that we could keep talking and talking
more
and talking.
Stories as more drinks get poured. Now, Now or Never, of course, out now, and the tour.
You want to talk about tour?
I do want to talk about tour. Are we going to get to see you singing these songs on stage? Are we going to be able to belt them out back to you?
Okay, so quickly, the answer is yes. If you're wondering if I'm going on tour this year, the answer is yes. If you're wondering if it's going to be a big tour, the answer is yes. If you think it's going to be amazing, yes. Are they going to be big arenas and venues? The answer is yes. I don't know. What else do you want to know? Do I have incredible special guests? Yes. Am I singing a lot of these songs? Yes. Am I announcing it soon? Yes. Can I announce it now? No.
No.
Sorry.
Okay, but we got a lot out of you though, so I am so excited. I'm so excited to see you back in town with these songs, and I'm also excited to see you, in Nashville very soon.
Well, I made you a promise. When you do come to Music City, you will have the best time. I promise you that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Brett.
Thanks,
I really
Leanne.
appreciate you sitting down, and thank you so much for joining us.